Hello and welcome to Life is Magical podcast. I'm your host, Srimanju Katragada, intuitive healer, Akashic Records reader, Hay House author of Connect Your Inner Guidebook, and who believes in experiencing healing and life is magical. Through this show, I'll be sharing my toolbox, which is full of life hacks, tips for rainy days, ways to hold our connections with the inner guide, and much more fun things. Let us begin this journey.
Welcome back to another episode at Life is Magical. Hello beautiful souls, this is Srimanju. Hope you're all doing good and enjoying the magical life. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the gratitude and how we can make life much easier being grateful for or being thankful for. So let me begin to the very start of my journey when I didn't recognize this powerful secret weapon that we all have it and how understated I was about it. Many of you might know the movie The Secret or the book Secret, right? Where it all talks about being grateful and cultivating the habit of being in gratitude. And let me take you back to my journey. 12 years ago, I was just I just had my second child. And after couple of months, realized that I was having these painful fingers. I was not able to move, and slowly the pain started building to all around my body. It was very hard even for me to get up in the morning, feed the child, and I had another toddler, so it was just chaotic. I was taking so long to get out of the bed, to be functional, not getting good night's sleep with all the pains and aches. Life was so different. I didn't have this kind of issue with my health before, so it was all new for me to understand what is happening, even what happened to me. I just gave a birth to baby. And why is this my life was falling apart and I was in between the jobs as well as nursing the kids and minding them. And then one day I was so moaning about these pains, so unhappy about it, how my life is. And I was only 29 at the time. And then my husband said one day, "Hey, why don't you see the beauty around? You're at least okay. Even you take time, that's okay. But you're around, you're seeing your children, they're smiling, you're able to do the best you could, even though it takes time. I think you need to see that side, be positive about it, and look from that angle." Of course, as you can imagine, I just screamed at him, you don't understand my pains, you don't know anything about it. And I gave out to him, poor guy. But afterwards, I took what he said, I slowly tried to digest it. Sometimes people say you the truth. You immediately conclude no, they don't get us. But sometimes it is actually for our own inner strength they are telling us. And I sat with that truth for a couple of days and I started realizing, actually, why am I forgetting the things that I am actually able to do? Even though at 29, I'm not able to get up in the morning, but I'm having a decent life. I have a good home. I have a supportive family. Why am I not looking at those things? And so slowly I started looking it's only a one day, one step at a time thing I was doing in. I started doing it, and then this movie and the book, The Secret, came into my life. I read it, I reread it, I watched the movie. I got a journal, The Secret Journal, where you need to write what you're grateful for now, and what are you going to be grateful for in the present tense about the future. And writing that made me realize there are so many things that I'm actually so grateful for. But I was taking in for granted, or not measuring them from the same angle. I would love to measure, saying I was only stuck with my idea of I'm not able to get up in the morning, not able to do in a fast pace as I would have normally done. But rather forgetting, the beauty about and the baby smiles or or has a good feed or playing. I'm not appreciating them because something else was taking away my concentration and focus, and my focal point or the spotlight in my life was diluted. So that made me realize like how to bring it back and how I can be in control. And along at the same times, I brought in Reiki, meditation, all those changes. And then I noticed like after months into it, I was actually more heartful, like more content from the heart, and I was able to take in whatever was coming in my life in a positive attitude, able to consume the informations in from a better place, or let's say from a neutral place, and that's definitely a change. And since then, I have never let it go since 2009. This is my go-to thing, my favorite part, like first thing in the morning when I wake up, I always repeat in my head, like, what are the 3 things that I'm grateful for? Even after crazy of insomniac night, I'm still saying I have a warm bed, I have a comfy bed to relax in, or how productive my day yesterday was, or last night, like about a dream, how grateful I'm about, like the insights a dream has brought me. And so again, I do that at the end of the night as well. I think about how did my day go, and what are the 3 things that I'm super grateful for, even if there is a traffic jam, oh, thank you for that. If not, I wouldn't have seen the bunnies running around in the grass, on the side of the road, or someone smiling from the next car, some simple things you do miss out. So thank you for that, rather than being stuck about the thought of being stuck in the traffic. So remember, it's about how we see and where we keep our spotlight in our life. And why not change it? Because you're on this journey, and it's about us, how we shift, how we look at the journey. I have been consumed by the painful times, and that only left me with more pain. But if I change the journey into much more relaxed, much more high vibe thoughts, I'm more happier, and I see the challenges are detangling and making my life flow forward with much ease. And this is the best thing about being thankful for in life that brings up. So remember, this is the tool that I would like to leave you with. Think about 3 things when you wake up in the morning. What are the 3 things that you're grateful for? And what are the 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of your night? And be very, very specific. Not just say you have a home every single day, but fill in with you have a home with a happy family, or a loving place that you're staying up with, or that you're happy. I have hummingbirds coming into my home garden. So I'm super thankful for those hummingbirds. Don't be very specific. The more you are attracting for that happiness to grow in your mind, and your heart is going to swell with so joyful moments. So that is the most important thing. Anytime when we are thankful for, we are going to have more of it, and it is what we concentrate about. Yeah. And then that leaves us with releasing the fear, or releasing that we are not going to have enough. The worries will come only when we are not on the high vibe, or when we are not in that positive spin of life. This is where that worry flow comes in. And even as growing up, I have been the one in my family. I've watched my parents praying every day, and I used to pray as well. I didn't know what to pray for. I would just say Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means everyone to be happy in the world. And that's all, and sometimes when I was doing the exams, I would say, hey, please God, get me over this nervousness, or make it easy for me in the exams. That's it. Thank you for it. And look after everyone. Until today, I do that, always about myself, what I want, and also what I would like the world to have, or anyone in pain to reduce the pain, And that is my way of giving back as well, for the things that would work. And the things that would make it easy for us, And when you pray, you're praying from your heart, your soul, opening it up with that peace of something magic to come into your life and take away anything is of a discomfort, But this is the thing, like, I have always done it, but until like 2009, until my husband revoked those thoughts into me, it didn't come to me that it's all about being grateful for that I was doing it. But I think I needed a new vocabulary, a new thought to it to do it. So if you're listening in, if you're not looking into the grateful thing that you have in your life, just stop, just pause and look from 360 degrees angle. I'm sure, like, there is one thing that you're always going to be grateful for. No matter what kind of a childhood we have, no matter what kind of a relation we are, or what kind of a job we are in, there is that magic is going to be there that we are going to be grateful for. And that is what we need to bring it back into our life and let it grow. Let it grow like a plant that is just going to go wild, like raspberry plants. Like, you just need one stem and that's it. It's going to go like a wildfire, like there is no stopping for it, right? And that is the most important thing, yeah. And also that helps us from being grateful for. It helps us get into that space of from self-pity or self-sabotaging into more being positive, more affirmative mind, or more growth mindset. And that is going to shift the way that we look into life. I started actually being more alive, started celebrating more, being more of myself. It's just like the perspective has changed. And also I started seeing like how things I was manifesting were changing as well, just because of that little logic I was putting into. Say, for example, I do get clients who would say like, hey, I'm not happy with my job. I just need some light at the end of the tunnel, like, and when someone says that, like, I just ask them, what do you mean by you don't like your job? And then they would say, hey, this job, like, I don't like the hours that I'm working in. Or my colleagues, that's not working out well. Or the pay is low. So then I say, so it's only one aspect of it that you don't like. It's not the whole job that you don't like. Is there any growth? Is there anything that you're enjoying? Then they will say, I really love the work I do. I really love the way I get to meet the friends there. Like, I made a lifelong friend. Or I get on so well with my boss. And it's just that spotlight from the things we didn't like to what we are liking, what we are enjoying. We are shifting and we are seeing that. And that is a major shift needed in our lives, in our perspectives. And that gives us more of, this is interesting. So it's only one thing that I don't like it. So when I'm going to ask for a better job, so I exactly know what to manifest for it. So if I'm not happy with my current boss in my new workplace, I'm going to ask, hey, please get me a better person where I can have a same length of conversation, who can understand my skill, and I can have a growth opportunities. And so easy then to manifest what you really want when you appreciate what you have. And this is where most of us do miss it out. When we ask what we want, we forget what we have already, so shift that conversation with yourself. If any thoughts are coming in, do think about it and keep a note of it and up your game, that will be a good shift for you. And also this thing that I started doing, I think 6-7 years ago, where Liz Gilbert mentioned, I don't know if anyone of you don't know, Eat, Pray, Love is her book and the movie, so I'm sure you would have heard about her before. So she shared in one of her Instagram or Facebook posts back a few years ago, where she does this glass jar, gratitude jar, and where she writes whenever she is having a grateful moments to fill a little slip and leave it in, and at the end of the year she opens them up and recollect all those happy memories. I said, I love that idea. And since then, I think it's our 7th year now that we are practicing as a family. So around the 31st December or the first week of Jan, the Christmas time holidays, we do that as a ritual. And we see oh my God, there are so many things that we wrote and we forgot about them as well. It's amazing to have those happy memories recollected, recreated again. Because when you are having a good time, you are really having a good time and you think you'll remember it forever. But believe me, we do forget them because there is something else goes over and we just forget it. And doing this for 6 years, 7 years, I still do forget what I wrote in Jan. And when I read them, oh geez, oh my God, this happened. How could I totally forget it, That's the normal psychology of us that we keep talking about. The phases that we didn't have a good experience in our lives, on and on and on. And just because the society talks more about the negative things all the time or negative experiences, we have trained our minds to do the same. And going to the weddings, going to gatherings, you'll hear people talking about things that didn't work out well in their lives all the time, right? And that way, they're always only recollecting those memories or their side of the story that didn't work out well. But how many times did anyone do talk naturally about great memories or the good times they had in their lives, right? Not many do that. So it's about us how we want to bring it back. And what is that DVD player that we want to recollect? When I was getting the mindfulness teacher training course, this is one of the exercises we had to do and I absolutely loved it, where you replay a good memory on and on, train your brain to do that. Isn't it wonderful? I thought about it, the best gift I could give to myself. Yeah. Simple thing as when you, as a mother, when I was giving birth to my child, my eldest one, I was hearing everyone talking about things that could go wrong, you could panic, like things, how painful it is, how many hours you are in pain and everything. But I didn't hear many stories where they said the bliss feel, the peace when you see your baby there in your arms, and you forget everything. It's very little people talked about that part. Everyone had a memory of how painful it is. And everyone would jump in to share their story of how awful it was. That made me think about, no, I'm not going to do that. And till today, I do accept it was not the most memorable thing. It is definitely painful, but my memory, I chose to have the memory of when I was holding my babies, and that is the best thing. And beyond that, the pain is incomparable, and the memory is no, I don't want to be. Because thinking about it and lose any good moments with my children, the choice is always ours. The choice of it is ours and how we want to take it in is ours. So think about it. Which one do you want to pick up? The painful side or the less pain and a happy memory one, So pick it from there and go ahead and recreate. So think about any instance that you had. No matter how painful it is, and think about what could have been the other side, what is the advantage or what is the blessing of it. Say, for example, even if someone is in a car crash, if they had some injuries, you always say, oh, it's a good timing that you are saved, you weren't killed, or it wasn't too bad, we just need to pray for those angels that were minding you or something, right? So this is about uplifting, looking on the brighter side. But it's not about denying that you were having a painful moment. It's not definitely about ignoring that part of it. But think about it. How far are we going to stretch, pull ourselves with that painful memories? And what is that we are going to gain out of it? I might be telling after 14 years still how painful my children's birth was. But what am I gaining out of it? The relation is going to be impacted because you're only putting bridges in between rather than a smoother road, So anything, any memory that you want to, you can always change into a good DVD player or a good replay or a painful one. Again, choose it. Choose wisely. And think about it, why you want to do it as well in that way. Even just the same with the life game, right? Every move you take either makes you win or lose or play the game again. So it's not from the failures that we play much. Failures are needed, so you learn from it. And that's a blessing again, right? And it just makes you overcome your obstacles and you go out and build your strength from it again. Being that side of the optimistic is the most important thing, yeah. And remember, life always gives us a choice and a second chance, and it's never over with one failure. And being thankful for those failures that we had and how we learn from it and how we see it as blessings and we overcome our obstacles is the most important thing, yeah. And definitely show gratitude to every moment of your life. I'm so grateful for that you're able to listen to me here. I'm here in Washington State, and I don't know where you're from listening in, but we are going to be connected through the internet. So I'm very grateful for that. Years ago, when I was able to do my readings through the internet, I was so oh wow, this is amazing. I can read the energies. I can do the channeling through the internet. It was awesome. So the distance doesn't matter at all. And these technologies are amazing. I was so grateful for. And look, last year, how many of us learned about Zoom? How many of us are using it, right? I'm super, we are grateful for it. Just like in 1918 with the Spanish flu, as we heard about the history, glad we had the technology now to be connected to. I miss my family, my friends. I'm still able to be in touch through the internet, which is awesome, right? So being grateful for that helps us to be stay with the peace side of it, yeah. So gratitude is knowing that everything is in perfect divine order, as it should be right now. But don't consider gratitude as a hope that it will all work out. It is being thankful that it already has. Believe it in and to have it already happened. And this is the part that I have seen the shift when I was doing the gratitude journal with The Secret. So where we have to write about not only what today is about, but also tomorrow what I'm wanting it, to already see it. To see it helps us to overcome any obstacles and also defines us, do I really want it? Many of us want so many things, but when it comes, we don't know how to handle it. So visualizing it, seeing that helps us do I really want it? And am I able to handle it? And you learn from just replaying that in your mind and you grab that opportunities. And helps us to live fully in life right now, And it also helps us to overcome any regrets that we have in life as well. No matter how small it is, keep collecting these treasureful moments. It could be a smile from a stranger, or it could be a flower blossoming in your garden, or a sunshine today. Let it be anything, a small thing or a big thing. It doesn't totally work on how big the magnitude is. It is about recognizing them. That is the most important thing, yeah. And this helps us seeing the life from a totally different perspective. And you know what? The best thing? That we are breathing. Absolutely. The days that I run out of ideas, what to be grateful for. Jeez. I'm breathing. How do I forget that? When I'm breathing, I can do anything. Absolutely, right? You are so alive. And that is the most important thing, and let that breathing come in and grow as an infinity sign and allow your cells and muscles to grow deep, deep, deep and recharge yourself. Yeah. And that is the best thing that you can bring in. And just say to yourself, I welcome my life fully with being present. And only when you're present, you have these amazing memories that you're going to create in your life. And what else do we need in life? Once we create them, you go by it and you live your life, right? So as you're listening to this, grab a journal, grab a pen and a paper, and write your grateful moments right now before you forget, and cultivate this new habit. If you haven't been practicing in, bring it along. And also I have a meditation around the gratitude meditation. I'll be sharing it in the show notes below. So practice in, bring it in, and 21 days is great to create such habits. And if you can do it for 21 days, amazing. Do it with your family. Teach it to your children. It's easier when we teach kids. Kids do ask us back, like, how are we doing with it? And we all can do. We all take the accountability for each other. That's the best thing about it. Yeah. So I do teach children meditation in schools. And that's what I say them. This is the best thing, especially around the December when the Santa comes. Like, I say, hey, before you write your list, be grateful for what you already have it and write a list. Like, they all say like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, shared that secret weapon to them. And it's amazing how kids can take it in easily. But we self-doubt, will it work? Will it not work? Like, But hey, give it a chance. Try it out. Like, there is nothing absolutely you're going to lose by it. And also, if you haven't watched the movie or read the book, do grab it, The Secret, and you won't be disappointed with it. You would love it. I know there is a lot of depth in it, but this is the main part that I took it away. So you might take the same thing or something else as well. Like, hey, life is so beautiful. Life is so magical. Live by the principles of it, like, make it easier. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Even the last year, like, going through so much chaos around the world, I was only thinking about, like, no matter how deep the pains were, I was thinking about being grateful, like I'm in home with the family, or at least we are all together. Or even like saving time on the traffic. There is so much to look around and absolutely be in praise of, like, that is the magic. It's just we need to open up our eyes to see the beauty. So go on, bring in your list and share and drop in an email. I love to hear how you're getting on with it. Be in touch. You can review this podcast, or even share it on one of Facebook or on Instagram. Go grab it and share your experience there. Take care and remember, life is magical, and enjoy that magic. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening in and tuning in to the podcast Life is Magical. I hope you found some good nuggets to move through this week. Want to ask a question? Please email me or stay connected if something resonated or found useful and helpful from this podcast. I love to hear back from you. My email is info@srimanju.com. That is SRIMANJU, which is in the show notes below. Until next week, namaste and good day. Happy magic. Love to you all. Thank you for listening in.